Yesterday, Thames Water saying that they were making progress in reconnecting customers who lost water supplies across Guildford and Godalming and Milford. Well, let's take you to Adrian Harms, who's at the Crown Court car park in Godalming, which has become your second home, Harmsy, in recent days.
Yeah, it certainly has, James. What we can tell you from here at the moment is, for those of you who don't know the Crown Court car park, right in the heart of town, this has been a very busy water collection point over the last few days, as indeed has the Artington Park and Ride, which is on the A3100 between here and Guildford. Now, there is plenty of water both here and at Artington. Now, yesterday there was a steady stream of people picking up water, but already this morning we've had a lady turn up who lives in Bramley, more of that in a moment, who's collected her water. In fact, there were a couple of officials here from Thames Water, but they've wandered off to get a coffee, so the lady just helped herself. So
there isn't any water for any coffee, is there?
Yeah. Well, in Godalming there is, certainly in the high street there is, and Thames Water, as you were saying, have said that sort of 90% or so of people are back on. However, in the Frith Hill area, which is just outside of Godalming, and parts of Farncombe Hill, there is still no water. And in Bramley, we know there are still serious problems. Now, let's bring in Paul Follows, who is the leader of Waverley Borough Council. Good morning to you, Paul.
Good morning.
I know this has been very frustrating for you. Bring us right up to date with where we are, particularly with those affected in Bramley.
Well, we've had some light rain here today in Godalming, so let's hope the infrastructure doesn't cave out again. So I had a very frustrating few hours last night with Thames Water, as they were telling me that there were less than 20 properties still impacted. I mean, even a 90-minute social media post indicated very clearly that there were significant parts of Farncombe that were still out, but also, as we're seeing this morning, huge chunks of Bramley. I mean, I've had multiple messages from people, 1, 2, 3 children who've had no water since Saturday and still don't.
Could you give us an idea of which particular roads are affected in Bramley, Paul?
So a lot of the areas around the centre of Bramley, but also as you're heading towards Godalming, a lot of those roads seem to be. And I'm going to send you a list of those roads so that you can speak to residents over there and they can tell you themselves. But Thames Water are now saying it's partly an airlock issue over there. So this is a technical thing with the pressuring of the pipes. Their own website says effectively mission accomplished. But I think residents at this point, if they've not had water since Saturday, they don't care why it's off. They just know it's off.
So just to be clear, you were told by Thames Water last night that only 11 properties were without water.
Yes, that's what I was told. And just anecdotally, we knew from the conversations we'd had with residents over the day that that's just fundamentally untrue. And that was very easily checked within an hour.
Our listeners will be able to tell the hint of agitation in your voice, Paul.
Yes, it's been a little bit frustrating. I mean, I think most residents will agree with me that communications from Thames Water has been atrocious for these past 3 days. I mean, it's been a sort of 72-hour crisis, well, a bit more than that now, but there were periods of, 15-plus hours where there was nothing on the website. And, asking for new water stations to be set up in Milford took 3 days.
Another gentleman's just turned up. Actually, we'll go and speak to him in a moment to pick up some water. I mean, where do we go from here, Paul? I mean, clearly there are still people without. What's your message to Thames Water this morning?
Well, to be honest, at this point, I'm getting to the what's next phase of this. And Storm Ciarán has put down as the reason by Thames Water for this. And to be quite honest, I'd like to know which of these two questions is true. Either Storm Ciarán, a fairly moderate storm in Surrey, has knocked off a piece of very critical infrastructure that impacted as potentially, did impact 13,500 homes, could have impacted as many as 40,000 if it had gone to its fullest conclusion. Or something else knocked it offline. So from my point of view, they need to explain how such a key facility is going to be more resilient in the future and what they're going to do about it. Because, a little bit of light rain, plus a bit of, a torrent of chronic underinvestment has put people without water for the best part of a week.
Well, Paul, thanks very much for joining us this morning on a very wet and cold morning in Godalming. We're hearing that a lot of people in Godalming and Guildford have been reconnected, but as Paul was saying there are people around the Bramley area in particular who are still without water, and we'll investigate that as the morning goes on, James.
All right, Adrian, we'll come back to you. Try and stay dry, and also, if you're going down there, do say hello to Adrian, and Morgan's down there with him. Thames Water saying, we're really sorry about the ongoing problems caused by the fault at the Shalford Water Treatment Plant. The issue has been fixed. We're working hard to get things back to normal. They say most customers are now back in supply. We are aware of some no water and low pressure issues in the Frith Hill, Farncombe Hill and surrounding areas. These issues are caused by airlocks within our pipework. Engineers have been working overnight to bring back the supply as soon as possible. We will issue compensation automatically to customers in line with our customer guarantee scheme. Payments will be made within 1 month, they say. It's BBC Radio Surrey, Wednesday morning, and it is the